All right, so lately I've been getting some flat tires, like my rim tape has failed or something, and it's kind of come to my attention that maybe some of you haven't had to change a tube yet or take a tire off, and so I just wanted to give like a general, this is what I do when it comes to changing a tire. And I've done it a bunch. It always seems to happen right before a race is gonna happen, or as it happened to me last week on the last straight, I got a flat and I had to finish my race with a flat tire and still got second place, but it's always nice to perform my best. And I got racing tonight and I've gotten a couple more flats since, so I'm going to do this. So I just have this little multi-tool. This has a 15 millimeter, 14 millimeter, and this is a 15 as well. So my bike has 15 millimeter nuts on it. Loosen it up, and mine has chain tensioners. Not all bikes have a chain tensioner. Sometimes it's good to have like an extra tool. You can get a little bit of leverage back here and hold your wheel back to get a little tightness, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit. When you take your tire off, you want to disconnect your brake. Struggling. There we go. Got that off, and now you can take the chain off. And everything comes off there. Okay, so the next thing, this is probably the more challenging part, especially with the foldable tires. And these, again, these are just the cheap tire levers here to help get these off. Once you get it over the side there, you just gotta, usually with a little bit of brute force, get it over. Get it over the edge of the rim. And I'm gonna just stick it back here. Sometimes if you get just like a little bit wider and you get a little bit more of that space over it, helps. Get under the edge. Under the edge. And then get it up. There we go. Go. And now you don't have to take your tube all the way off, and I'm just kind of grabbing the side of this so I can get, once it gets going, it's easy to come off. But this is even harder. This is a 1.75 20-inch tube or wheel, and it gets harder when it's like if you have like an 18-inch 1-inch tire. That's if you can do that, you're a magician. Okay, taking that off. So see how I don't have it off all the way? Let's just leave it on there. You'll be thankful. So this tube is getting holes. Give me the bike pump. So the best way to figure out where you're getting the leak is just to pump it up. And if you have soapy water, go ahead and do that, but I don't have any right at this minute. And you can feel for air, which I can feel it coming out right here. All right, when you put your new tube in, you need to put just a little bit of air in it first. Doesn't need a lot. Just enough to get inflated there. Okay. And let's see, I'm gonna get the tire started. First of all, I want to make sure it's going the right side. There we go, right there. On the chainring side, make sure my tire is going the right direction. And then the other thing I like to do is I like to get the PSI, all my pressures and everything, right where the valve stem is. So that way it's easy to find that information when you go to pump up your tire. So right there, it's all in that same spot. Get this first side over the rim, and it takes a little bit of hand strength. So okay, so you can see right there, got the pressure, and then it has a logo over here. But you see right there, it tells you what the PSI is. So it's kind of nice to know that, and if you know where your valve stem is, then you can find your pressure. So get the valve stem in there first, and then now you can get your tire over the top. One of the things that you don't want to do is pinch your tube. Pinching the tube. This looks like this tube is way too big for this. Looks like it's a 24. All right, well, there we go. Now I gotta do something else. All right, now I gotta figure out the problem. All right, putting it back together. Tire tube's in there. So this is always kind of the most difficult part, is right around the stem. If you just push it up a little bit, it allows that to get back in there. So there, see your tube pinching a little bit? You don't want that. Yeah. Just kind of gotta roll it on there a little bit. Once it gets to a certain point, it'll just go the full way. So like that. There we go. Tube still on there. And we should be able to put some air in here. And pump it up. Looks like that's working right now, so get some air in there. I'm gonna pull this off, and I'll finish putting the rest of the pressure in here just a little bit. Get this out of the way. Okay, all right, so now I can get everything put back on. Gonna go right there. Get these started on here, tighten down. Like I said, I have chain tensioners on mine, so it helps out a little bit. Getting it on there. I'll loosen it up just a little bit so I can get it all the way around. So we have a little. There we go. And then tighten a little bit there. Okay, so chain has a little bit of play in it, which is good. You don't want it to be too tight.